Hi guys, welcome back to Elizabeth Ann Reads. It is November 1st, which means it's time to talk about my reading plans for the month of November. I have a lot of books I want to read before the end of the year. Basically what happened, well, we all know what happened in 2020. But in 2018, 2019, I had gotten much better at budgeting and not buying a lot of books. I still buy a few, but I had cut way back. And then in 2020, when back in March and April, when everyone started panic buying toilet paper, I started panic buying books. And it was like opening the floodgates. And once I started, I could not stop. And so I've just been buying books like crazy all year, which, you know, I'm not totally mad about, but I need to read them. My shelves are overflowing. And I keep buying books, I keep getting books from the library, and we need to get this under control. I'm not going to stop entirely buying books, but we're going to cut way back till I get what I have down, at least to a reasonable amount. So I didn't even count, I have about 30 books here. That's my possibilities for the month. I am not good at sticking to strict TBRs, so these are just kind of what's on my radar right now. Other things I'm sure will come along and be added to the stack. Some I may decide I'm actually not interested at all. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. But for now, this is kind of what's on my radar for right now, and we'll see where we end up with the month. I think I'm going to try and do like weekly updates this month, not necessarily vlogs, but just kind of a weekly check-in, let you know what I've been reading. I was even thinking about the possibility of trying to do like 30 books in 30 days this month, but there's some really chunky books I need to read, so I don't want to pressure myself to try and get that done. So let's just talk about the books that I'm maybe picking up here in the next few weeks. First of all, I have 2 books that are holdovers from October that I started but didn't finish. The first is a Victober read, 1,000 Miles Up the Nile by Amelia B. Edwards. This is a travel journal about this woman's travels in Egypt. And I was going to try and push myself to finish it in October, but I want to take my time because I am enjoying it. So, but it works well for nonfiction November also. So we're going to try and finish it up in November. The other one I've started is Shelf Life, Fantastic Stories Celebrating Bookstores, which is a collection of short stories edited by Greg Ketter. And honestly, I've only read the very first story in here. I am not usually a fan of short stories, and I did not particularly enjoy the first one in here, so it's possible this will be a DNF, but I'm going to give it at least a couple more stories. But yeah, it's like horror stories all centered around bookstores, which should be fantastic, but we'll see what happens with that one. I had a few other kind of October-y, Halloween type reads, like very atmospheric, that I just didn't get to, and so I'm keeping those on my stack for now. The first is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I don't really know anything about this other than I know Shirley Jackson is like a classic horror writer, so I really want to get to this one. I have Susan Hill, The Woman in Black, which again, I don't really know anything about it. And then I have 2 books by Jamie Jo Wright, who is an author that Chantel over at An Intentional Life has been talking about a lot lately, and I was fully intending to get to The Reckoning of Gossamer Pond in October, and it just didn't happen, so I really want to get to, for sure, this one, and depending on how that goes, I also have The House on Foster Hill by Jamie Jo Wright. I also have some Victober reads that I did not get to, so I'm keeping those on the pile as well, and that is Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. This is my first Thomas Hardy, and I would really like to get to it this year. I have The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, which is a reread, but it still seems appropriate for this time of year, and I would like to try and get to that one also. And Fantasties by George MacDonald. George MacDonald is an author I love. This is one of his few books that I have not read, so I would like to get to that. I need to stop saying I would like to get to that. They're on this list, so obviously I would like to get to them all. I also have one more nonfiction that I want to read for Nonfiction November, and that is Endurance, Shackleton's Incredible Voyage by Alfred Lansing. I've had this on my shelf for over a year now and need to read it. Okay, what else is on the pile? I have a couple pre-orders that just came in last week. So those are pretty high priority. The first is Hollowpox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This is book 3 in the Nevermore series. I've actually already started this. I started the first 2 chapters last night. So I'm for sure getting to this one. And then I also have Poisoned by Jennifer Donnelly. This is a retelling of Snow White. I read her book Stepsister, which is a retelling of Cinderella earlier this year, and really, really loved it. So I'm looking forward to trying Poisoned. I am participating in a buddy read this month for the Fall Into Reading Challenge, which is hosted by Tia and All the Books, Rainy Day Reads, and from Literary Labors, and Kelly from Cozy Reader Kelly. And this month's buddy read is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. This is another one that's been sitting on my shelf for quite a while, so this is a perfect opportunity to read it with some other people. So I'll be for sure getting to that one too. Another huge priority this month is Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I took a few weeks off from working my way through the Stormlight Archives, but I need to get back into this so I can get onto Rhythm of War, hopefully in December. But this is like 1,300 pages. So, yeah, definitely going to be working my way through this one this month. All right, other things I would like to get to. I have some series that have kind of gotten put on the back burner that I would like to continue on in. I have the Artemis Fowl series. This is book 4, The Opal Deception. So, yeah, there's that. I have Playing with Fire by Derek Landy. This is book 2 in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I just reread book 1 and enjoyed it and want to continue on before I lose my momentum. So I have that one. And I have Pirate King by Laurie R. King. This is a mystery series, historical mystery series that follows the apprentice of Sherlock Holmes, Mary Russell. And I've been rereading the series for the last couple years. It's been months since I've picked one up, and I keep intending to pick this one up and just haven't. So, yeah, Pirate King. I have some books I would like to reread this month as well. I have books 5 and 6 in the Enola Holmes series. I've been rereading through this series this year and just have 2 left. So this is The Case of the Cryptic Crinoline and The Case of the Gypsy Goodbye. So those are books 5 and 6. Another book I'd like to reread is The Big Over Easy by Jasper Ford. This is one of the few Ford books that I haven't read more than once. So I definitely want to pick that up sooner than later, hopefully. And then Christy by Katherine Marshall. This is a historical fiction set in the Appalachian Mountains, following a school teacher there. And I've read this at least twice, maybe 3 times, but have been wanting to reread it. So I would like to get to that. And then I have a whole bunch of other random stuff that I'm kind of in the mood for, but we'll just see what happens over the month. I have a couple historical fiction, The Alice Network by Kate Quinn, which I think is World War II, and spies, probably. I have The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain, which I want to say is set in the 70s, maybe a dual timeline, or maybe a time travel element. I can't remember for sure, but I've been hearing quite a bit of praise of this one lately. I have Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, which is the first in a trilogy about Henry VIII, or the Tudor court, I guess. The third one just came out. I would really like to get to the first one at least this year. Then some fantasy. I have Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which I still have not read and would really, really like to read this month. I think I'm going to try and prioritize this. But with Oathbringer also being a priority, I don't know if that'll happen. I have Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. This is the first in a series that I've wanted to try forever because Aronovich is often compared to Jasper Ford. And I went ahead and bought all 6 books in this series, so I should, at least read one of them. I have Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I read Kindred earlier this year and really loved it, and would like to continue and read more of Butler's works. This is, I think, science fiction, with maybe some historical fiction elements too. I'm not sure, honestly, what this is about. But we'll find out when we read it. Then I have a couple, I guess they're dystopians, kind of. I really don't know much about them. This is Partials by Dan Wells. I think these are both that I have here are first in a trilogy. And this is, sci-fi, I'm assuming dystopian, but I don't really know. And then I have The Reader by Tracy Chee. This is also first in the trilogy. I don't know anything about it, but maybe I'll read it and tell you about it. So that's it. That's kind of what's on my radar right now. Again, this will probably change by tomorrow. By the time you see this posted, it'll probably be completely different. But these are the things I'm thinking about picking up this month. I do have a couple more pre-orders coming that'll end up on the stack. I have a bunch more stuff on hold at the library. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what this month holds. But I'm really excited about all of these books. So, you know, we'll see how many I can get to. And I will let you know what I think of them as I read them, because that's what this channel's for. Let me know down below what book you are most looking forward to reading in November. And that is it. Thank you for watching.